Welcome to Mars.
Here we are. We're back with Mars Radio for another interview. This time I have a old colleague, old partner, old friend. I've known this guy probably 10 years?
Yeah, it's probably
Good
been over
10 years, maybe even longer than that. But I'm here with Definne. He's an artist, barber, entrepreneur, um, business owner, management. He owns he wears a hat that has a lot of different feathers in it.
10.
We want to go ahead and welcome him to Mars Radio. Welcome to the show, Definne.
Right on. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
And then go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
I mean, pretty much, I'm from East Palo Alto, California, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father, and I'm a business owner. I mean, pretty much that's what you're going to get from me other than shit I can't tell you.
All right, all right. And you said you're from East Palo Alto?
Yeah, I was raised in East Palo Alto, but I was born in New Orleans.
And how old were you when you came to California?
Probably like 5, 6.
You have any memories of being in New Orleans before you came to California?
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think of when you think of home, East Palo Alto? What is the first thing that comes to mind if you were to describe it to somebody that's never been?
I would describe it as 4 miles this way, 4 miles that way, full of a whole bunch of activities.
Okay, what kind of activities?
Fun type of activities for the wrong type of crowd.
Okay, all right, okay. A lot of street shit going on in East Palo Alto.
Yeah,
okay.
East Palo Alto is cool. It's just it's very active.
All right, so that's one of those cities you want to drive through. You don't want to stop for gas there.
No.
Okay, got it. So, growing up in East Palo Alto, who'd you grow up with? Your mom and your dad, or just one of your parents, or how was that?
I grew up with my mom and my grandma, and my grandma had like 9 kids though, so it was a lot of us. But for the most part, I grew up with my mom.
So you grew up with your mom. Where was Pops at?
Pops was in jail, locked up in New Orleans.
Okay, Pops stayed in New Orleans when you guys came to California?
Yeah, I mean, I think my mom actually just took off on him, keeping it solid.
Right.
She didn't want me in what him and my uncles and all my other relatives was into because they all was highly active.
Right. Do you think moms did the right thing?
Yes and no. So yes, she did the right thing because it was the safest option for me, and no, because I don't think no mom should take a child away from their parent, either or, whether it's dad or mom. So, but I still blame my dad for not coming this way or even just keeping in touch or just keeping the flight. But then again, I can blame my mom because she might have just blocked that nigga. So.
Right. How's your relationship with your dad now?
I don't talk to him. He tried to call me from prison, but I'm cool with him.
He's still locked up?
Yeah, he's still locked up. But I associate with all my aunties, all my cousins out there. We just got back from New Orleans 2 days ago, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault.
Oh, yeah, straight up. So I rock with them tough.
Okay. So how do you think growing up in East Palo Alto with your mom and your grandma made you into the man you are today, as opposed to what the ideal growing up with the man and the woman in the same house is supposed to be?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't think my mom and my grandma had too much to do with the man I am today. I think just circumstances and guidance that she gave me when I was younger had something to do with the man I am today. Because I think when I was younger, she tried to tell me a lot of shit, but I ain't listen. But the fact that she told me years later, the shit that she told me set in. So, I think that was the biggest difference or the biggest thing with growing up moms and grandma. It wasn't too much they influence that had me doing what I was doing and how I was living. But when I did get older, they influence actually set in. So
right. So it was one of those things. This might take a while.
Yeah, not straight up. I was hard headed than a motherfucker.
Okay, cool. So growing up with just moms and Pop staying in New Orleans, what are the types of things you used to do as an adolescent growing into your teenage years? Were you like the get into trouble type, the hit the streets type, the being in sports type, the nerd type? What were you doing in your adolescence years?
So I wasn't influenced by the streets when I was adolescent. I was influenced by fights, stealing shit, and sports. So that was what I was into heavily. Like every other day, either I was fighting or I was stealing something or I was playing football.
Yeah, so regular kid shit, right? I mean, the average kid grows up fighting, getting
just not every other day.
Yeah. I mean, some people are better than others at it. Shit, it sounds like you were a really good one, but it is regular kid shit, right?
Yeah.
When did the level of the shit that you were getting into escalate?
when I wanted real money.
Right. And what age was this?
Mm, I think I was about maybe 20, 21 when I really start going after money rather than living good or happiness, or money was my main priority.
Right. And what was it that you saw or what was around you that influenced you so much to put money as a priority?
I mean, it wasn't so much what I saw, it was more or less of what I wanted. I wanted
Right.
freedom. I didn't want to have to answer to nobody. I didn't want to have to be on nobody else's time. I didn't want to have to be told what to do. And so the only way that I could do that was to become my own boss.
Was there any, not nobody in specific, but was there anybody, were you in East Palo Alto at this time still?
Yeah.
All right. Was there anybody maybe like locally or in the neighborhood or anything like you
I
that
mean,
was showing that lifestyle that you were interested in?
I can't really say who the people
No,
was
not
that.
not the people, but was there a
But
type
yeah,
of
it
person?
was a group of people, because I mean East Palo Alto is only 4 miles this way, 4 miles that way, and we had little hoods, Menlo,
Yeah.
Mid, the G, which
Right.
was where I was from. So it was little hoods, but then you got your trap stars that was on the
That's what I'm getting at.
corners.
You were looking up to those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, it wasn't just looking up to them. So when you in the hood, they is when you look up to somebody, you can't touch them, you can't be around them. But when you in my hood, we walking past them, talking to them every day. They
Right.
tossing us little dollars here and there.
Yeah.
They asking us to go do little shit. So they was touchable, they was tangible, and what they
Right.
was doing was tangible. So we right there watching them, like, okay, this is how you do it. Boop boop, you go boop boop. Okay, and putting stuffing in his pocket.
Right.
So that was the influence that we really got because we was right there. Then we
Right.
go play football a corner from where they busting at.
Right. And then it's got to affect you in a certain way because you're just, like you said, a couple steps away from it.
Yeah,
You're low
straight up.
key in it. When you go to the store to get a fucking bag of chips,
Yo.
you're seeing some shit.
Oh
Yeah. So that kind of influence is gonna make you say, "Man, these shoes is kind of old, low key. The new ones come out next week. I might have to go bust this play." So it kind of escalated like that, just based on your surroundings,
yeah.
and then wanting more. Okay. The desire to want more. Did that ever lead to any type of troubles or issues with the law?
Yeah. But the fact that I evaded a couple things, I
Right.
can't really talk about what happened with
Right.
those.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
I'm just saying, did it ever
it
catch
was,
up to you?
yeah, a few times.
Right. Okay. So it did catch up. So eventually, you thought, hey, this is cool and whatnot, but there's got to be another way. I'm assuming is that when you turn to music.
No, I always so when I was growing up, I dealt with a lot because even my home life wasn't cool. You know what I mean? It was a lot of extracurricular activity going on at home. So I started doing music from writing poetry.
Okay, what
Like
kind of
just
extracurricular activity you talking about going on at home?
I mean, it's just a regular trauma. You know what I
Okay, so
mean?
regular street
It's
shit happening in and out of the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
just
cool.
it's so when the people you love the most are under the influence of other shit and they
Mm-hmm.
start attacking you, it changes your mentality of love. You get
Okay.
what I'm saying? So once you get that mentality that the people that's closest to you, that you ain't supposed to, interact a certain way with them, how do you interact with other people a different way if this is the way you being taught that this is how you interact with the people that you love?
Well, you said a lot right there. Are you saying that somebody in your family was on drugs and it was fucking with you, so you had to find a way to escape, and music became that?
No.
Okay, what are you
What
saying here?
what I'm saying is I don't put their business out there
Right.
like that. But what I can say is it was a lot of trauma. It was a lot of drama. There
Yeah.
was a lot of fights. There was a
Yeah.
lot of arguments. But it wasn't regular fights or regular arguments
Yeah.
because of the influence.
Got it.
The influence automatically elevated everything to where people getting stabbed, people getting cut,
Yeah.
people is falling out, people passing out, people sleeping in their doorway
Mm-hmm.
of their house with the door wide open, where it's
Right.
like, fuck is you thinking? Why is your
Right.
door? Why you laid out on you a kid?
Yeah.
So you don't understand the effects of whatever they own or whatever they, you feel me? And so you develop a different mentality from seeing that type of shit. And
Right.
it's not even something that you can control, that you develop, that you don't even know you develop because you still going through life.
Okay. And so, what did that do to you? Is that what caused you to push towards the music?
It made me cold.
Okay. So that just made you a whole, like, pretty much a monster.
Yeah, it just made me cold. I mean, I don't think I would call myself a monster though, but I was. But it just made me, you feel me? It
He
wasn't,
said, "I
it
wouldn't call
wasn't,
myself a monster,
yeah,
but I
but
was."
yeah, keyword